Kerry is one of the most popular tourist destinations on the island of Ireland. Speaking of Kerry, people think immediately of the Ring of Kerry. The Ring of Kerry is located on the largest of the 5 peninsulas in the south of Ireland, on the Iveragh Peninsula to be precise. It is a panorama route, about 180 kilometers long. It is absolutely spectacular. Wild Atlantic coastline, mountains and marshland. On the Iveragh Peninsula you find many natural and man-made highlights. Ross Castle, a typical tower house, dates back to the 15th century and is located at the edge of Loch Lean, one of the lakes of Killarney. It was one of the last Irish strongholds taken by Oliver Cromwell's troops. The English were unable to take it by land, so they launched a warship in the lake, which turned out to be successful. As you drive the Ring of Kerry, you pass through a lot of little villages and towns. One of them is Waterville. Waterville is famous, for example, for Charlie Chaplin. From the 50s until mid-70s or beginning 70s, Charlie Chaplin and his family returned to Waterville year for year. There was a very special connection between Charlie Chaplin, his family, and this little village. But Waterville is not only famous for Charlie Chaplin, who is being honored in form of a statue here in the village. It's also famous for Mick O'Dwyer. Mick O'Dwyer is one of Ireland's Gaelic football legends. He was born in this village and he lives in this village. We are looking here at a prehistoric structure. The Cargill Ringfort is about 1,400 years old. Ireland has many prehistoric sites. To be very honest, it is not really much known about the purpose of those structures. There's a lot of theories. We talk about homesteads, for example. We talk about military fortresses. It's well possible. But I mean, for the last 20 years, I have been looking into prehistoric Ireland. And when I'm in one of these ring forts, like now, and I'm looking around and look at the terraces and the steps, and then I look at the center of the ring fort, then I notice something, and I can't help thinking that these ring forts might have been temples, prehistoric religious sites. I can really well imagine how a druid, a prehistoric pagan priest, that they might have communicated with the gods and goddesses of the time. That they might have offered the gods and goddesses sacrifices to calm them down if they were angry. There might have been other rituals. There might have been court cases negotiated in these temples. There might have been theaters. I don't know, but for me, those sites are absolute magic. And just look at the view from up here all around. It's magnificent. And over there in the distance, we even see a medieval structure, a so-called tower house. We are looking here at the birthplace of Daniel O'Connell. You all know Daniel O'Connell, or you know of Daniel O'Connell. If you have ever walked O'Connell Street, which is probably the best known shopping street in Ireland altogether, in the centre of Dublin, O'Connell Street, you have seen the O'Connell monument at the top of the street, the O'Connell Bridge, which is the major bridge crossing the Liffey from north to south in the centre of Dublin. Then you know who I'm talking about. He's called the Liberator, and this ruin we are looking at here is the birthplace of Daniel O'Connell. Yeah, it's not really much left of it. You find this ruin just outside of Carsaveen on the Ring of Kerry. Sneem is a beautiful, colorful little village. It is the birthplace of the Irish heavyweight wrestling world champion Steve Casey, also known as the Crusher. And when we look at this church, I find that really typical for Ireland. You find that actually quite often. If you look at the church steeple, it is a salmon, a fish. And look at the riverbed, isn't that beautiful? The river is also called Sneem, the same as the village. The southern part of this peninsula was declared an international dark sky reserve in 2014. At the time, it was one of 3 worldwide international dark sky reserves. And at the time, it was the only dark sky reserve in the northern hemisphere. Currently, we have about 16 such reserves worldwide. In this area, there is none or minimal light pollution. There are also guided experiences to actually witness this spectacular night sky.